Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker, and today is a very different video. We are in the Suburban. The 360 camera is on the roof rail. I hope it doesn't fall off. It shouldn't. I'll be sad if it does because they're expensive. And we're going to Hatteras Lighthouse, I believe it's called. Why are we in the Suburban? Well, if you saw a recent video, we were heading out here for a little trip. And we only have one motorcycle currently, which isn't really a touring motorcycle anyway. So we just took the Suburban, and because it is a very comfortable vehicle. Toaster's over there. That's why you're on a much narrower view than normal, because she has not decided to do a face reveal yet, a la old Blockhead. You know, basically Toaster is kind of like the only person left on, you know, motovlogging tube to not do a face reveal. It's just, yeah, she's basically more important than Blockhead now. Yeah. She's also deaf and mute, so it never hears any of the things I say about her, which is great. So the lighthouse we're going to is actually not the original lighthouse. Now, I already forgot everything I'd read about this once, so hopefully I'll remember this time. But the original lighthouse was first finished construction in 1803, and essentially it sucked. It's pretty much the general gist of it. No one liked it. Didn't really do its job, and obviously its job was to warn ships of getting smashed to pieces. Just beside where we're staying is the graveyard of the Atlantic Museum, which is kind of self-explanatory. There's thousands of ships that have sank there over the years, due to the colour of the sand and rocks, etc., all kind of blending into one, and it's really hard to see apparently when you're sailing a large ship. I wouldn't know, I've never sailed one. But basically then in the 1860s, I think it was, the modern lighthouse that we're going to see was built. So it's a little bit taller, and they painted it differently, and it apparently does a much better job. I think it's 155 feet tall altogether. I can't remember exactly. But this whole area that we're driving through, is very pretty. So I literally can't set this camera up right. It's not cooperating with me, so I'm just gonna have to show you like that, and then I'll spin you back around, and you'll just have to look at my face again, except for the 360 cam. Out here, Hatteras, it took us about 4 hours to drive to from Greenville. Now we took our time. We stopped for lunch in Roanoke Island, on Roanoke Island I should say, in Roanoke, the town. I don't know. It was very tasty. What was that place called? Hungry Pelican Deli, which was very good. I would highly recommend there. And then we continued on to here. So yeah, it's a good long drive, but it's quite a nice drive. It's not all just flat out 70 mile an hour highway, interstate. I know I still call everything motorways, to be honest, but yeah, it's fine. It's a nice trip. There's a wedding going on in there. Oh, that's the wedding you were talking about earlier. Pretty good. And there's a couple of spots along here that you can go up over the dunes. If I see one that makes sense, we might pull in and jump up over a dune real quick, just to show you, because like literally right over there, which you might actually be able to see off the roof rail, is all water. So we're literally driving along like a really narrow little section of road now, and to the left and right is water. To the left is a Pamlico Sound? What is it? There's a sound to our left, and then out to the right is the Atlantic Ocean. Hatteras Sound, is it? I don't know. And then out to the right is the Atlantic Ocean, which I mean goes the entire way to pretty much Portugal or Spain, I think, is directly across from us. So essentially nothing. So to our left is a large-ish body of water, and then until you hit the shore of North Carolina, and to our right as we drive is the Atlantic Ocean, which is a colossal area of nothingness from the surface, but underneath obviously there's a lot of fish and life and stuff, and I don't know, maybe fish people, maybe the King of Atlantis lives there, although I don't think Atlantis is in the Atlantic. Actually, it surely is in the Atlantic, because Atlantic They kind of match up. I don't know. If you know, let me know. If you know where Atlantis is, tell us in the comments.
It is Pamlico Sound.
Pamlico Sound, I was correct. Hooray. It's actually very handy to have like a little fact checker here beside me. And then what's the area we're going to after the lighthouse? Is it Cape Point? Yeah, so after the lighthouse we're going to go down to Cape Point, and I'll show you as much of that as I think makes sense. And after, yeah, Cape Point, and then we're going to go back to the hotel and get some food. So, like I said in the first video, if you've seen it, of this vehicle, the long-term plan is to get a roof tent on this and stuff, so I'm not just oh, actually we can go in here. So I'm not just doing you know, paying to stay places, because I really don't want to do that. I'd much rather you know, be able to camp and stuff. It's cheaper and it's more fun, really. The hotel is fine. It was $102 for the night. I know it's kind of like the off season, but yeah, I'd much rather just be able to go to a campsite and camp. Now we can probably run up here really quick, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna show you really quick what the place looks like, and I'll show you Big Sue's. Big Sue's. So that was a very cool beach. Now we're back on the road to Hatteras Lighthouse. And the 360 cam didn't fall off in that stint, so hopefully it doesn't fall off in this stint. And yeah, it'll all be good then. I think I would definitely recommend coming out here on a bike though. There's a couple of chunks of the road out here that are incredibly boring, but once you actually get here, it's the actual road from Roanoke down to Hatteras. So speaking of which, here's some bikes. Are very, very, very nice. So I hopefully will be back on bikes at some point. Toaster obviously is learning to ride. She has her license and all that, so currently learning. And learning the correct way, taking our time. And also there's another friend, well, I have a couple of friends here with bikes already, but there's another friend of mine learning to ride. Some friends, of course, have kids and families and whatnot, which always makes doing bikes a little bit harder. But yeah, we just need to get some childless friends who can go around on bikes more. As the plan is to try to go somewhere at least twice a month, I think. That would be good. And then long term, obviously, try get the tent sorted on this and the trailer, so that even if Toaster isn't feeling up to going on a bike somewhere, I can still bring my bike and then ride around and make videos and see the place on a bike, because seeing the world on a bike is the best way to see the world, in my opinion. What about on horseback? Would you ever ride around the world on a horse? Huh? Do they? Apparently people ride around the world on a horse. That's insane. I did not know that. Would that not be exceptionally difficult? Huh. There you go. Gingerbread House Bakery. Yeah, that's really cool. Bikes. Class. See, you've now seen some of the trucks I was talking about with fishing rods hanging off them and stuff. They're mad. It's just a lot of fishing rods. I don't know, do you need that many? Someone who fishes, please let me know, because that's a lot of fishing rods. I'm hoping we get to the lighthouse before it gets too dark, because I know the 360 camera will lose its visibility otherwise. it doesn't do very well in low light situations, that 360 camera. So now we've just turned towards Cape Hatteras National Seashore Light Station and Historic District. I have no idea can you see me anymore. I'll turn on this light again. Is that on my face? On my chin. You better see my chin. How exciting. But yeah, we're driving out towards the lighthouse now. You will be able to see the lighthouse on the 360 camera. I still haven't gotten used to how fast the sun goes down in what you call this place? The tropics, I suppose. Near the equator. It just, when it starts to go down, it just plunges. You know, you have a good light level until you don't, which is a bit weird. That's one thing as well that's funny is, you know, in Ireland obviously you always have the super long days and then the super short days, whereas here it stays more even, but you never ever get to that super long day that you know I'd be used to, we'd be used to. Toaster is over there still. I tried to get rid of her, but she's too fast. She caught up to Big Sue's, got in the car. Another weird thing for me, I don't know, do you feel this way, Toaster, but you can say it out loud and I'll tell everyone. What's weird for me is over here, obviously the Native Americans have been here forever. Essentially, those trees are really cool, but you can't see any of their history because they didn't really impact the land as much as, say, you know, medieval times. In Europe and whatnot. Like Ireland, everywhere you turn there's a reminder of the history there because it's built in stone, whereas over here you'd be fooled into thinking there is very little history. You know, this being a pretty old monument here, which is only 150 years old, which in the grand scheme of things it's not very old, but you know, this region would have been obviously home to Native Americans for a long time. So really and truly there is a huge deep history here. It's just you can't see it, so it's easy to forget about it. And that's something that I always kind of I try to remind myself, is that, you know, because we all laugh and joke about America having no history, and the United States of America has a shallow history, I suppose, and in a sense, I'm not going to say shallow because it's a bit crude of a word, but a light history in a sense, because it's a relatively fresh country as things go. But this whole region is really steeped in history. It's just we can't see it and we didn't record it, which is a pity, really. It is a pity. But yeah, would you agree with that? Would you think it's weird that there's not like a constant reminder of how old stuff is all the time? You know, buildings and castles and all that. She says she supposes. What? I don't know, can they hear you? You have to talk to the GoPro, project your voice. Anyway, we're here now. Hopefully the 360 cam has not fallen off and you can see that. I don't have the drone here yet. I do have the drone physically, but I'm not flying it yet because I want to find out, do I have to get a license and all that stuff. Again, I'm on a visa, don't want to be deported. Important to me to be able to stay living here. So I'll still show you on the other cameras. So there is the lighthouse in all its glory, and that's the back of Toaster over there, but I'm not going to show you her too close. It's pretty cool. It's an imposing building. It's weird that, like, you know, a lot of the lighthouses I've been to are up on like rocky escarpments, not down on little beaches. So it's weird for me to see this one, which is, I mean, I know that the ocean is right beyond these bushes here, and I can hear it, but I can't see it, and that's just a new experience to me. Not a bad one, but just new. Yeah, wonder how far you have to actually go through the bushes to get to the ocean. Toaster says the moon. Oh, there it is. Probably can't see it well on this camera. Anyway, there is the lighthouse in all its glory. Like I said, no drone yet, but I will rectify that in the future, and maybe even come back here on a bike, and then you'll be able to see it in its dronal glory. Although I know in the US I'm probably not even allowed to fly a drone near it. They're very particular about these things over here. So that was the end of the video anyway. We didn't walk through the bushes. As Toaster pointed out, we're supposed to go to Cape Point and didn't want to be eaten by zombies as we walked through the bushes. Also, pretty certain I've been bitten 15 million times by bugs, so decided it was best to retreat to the safety of the Suburban. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that little quick trip in the Suburban. Hopefully you like seeing a little bit of North Carolina, because obviously there's a lot more to come on bikes. I don't really like recording in cars anyway. It just feels a bit different, so I won't do it very often. If I do it again, I will do it in the Impala as well, so you guys can see that car too. But other than that, I probably won't. So thank you to Toaster for being a camera person in some videos of the Suburban, and thanks to Big Suze the Suburban for getting us over here. And as always, a very special thank you to all of my patrons. I really do appreciate all of your support a lot. Mucho. See. And yeah, until next time, thank you very much for watching. Adios. Outro crew. I think that Ireland's lighthouses, all the ones I did in Ireland, are cooler than this one. It's a cool lighthouse. It's cool. It's just too new. It's too fresh looking. You know, I want something with like 400 years of history, where someone was murdered by a ghost, etc. You know, it's kind of what you want. Hookhead, Galleyhead. I'll put links for those in the description, as they both have some drone footage, and they didn't get watched much, so I don't know. It's weird. The algorithm just picks out things that are actually popular and whatnot. You know, lots of people have told me to go buy a new bike that's popular in the media and the channel will grow, but I want to buy a bike I want to ride, really, so that goes. Anyway, bye outro crew. You don't have anything to say to the outro crew, do you? She does not.